When it comes to the World Center of Racing, you never know what's going to happen. To win at this circuit, you need to have the perfect mix of speed, strategy, smarts, and luck. Tonight, more than 30 trucks will attack the high banks at Daytona International Speedway, looking to come away with a victory. You will see it all live on the Global SimRacing Channel. Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the virtual Daytona International Speedway in Daytona Beach, Florida, for tonight's running of the Sim Racers for Mental Health Shine MSD 250. I'm Justin Brentz. Alongside me the move tonight is Rocco Stallone. Behind the scenes is our director, Sean Ambrose, and he's using cameras provided by Dougie Beer. Now, Rocco, first things first, let's talk about this racetrack. It's an interesting circuit where you never know what's going to happen at the super speedway.
Well, yeah, Justin, it's Daytona, and I mean, there's only so much anybody could really say about Daytona. All the history involved with all of the races that have been run here. NASCAR's been coming here for many years. Hell, NASCAR started here, so it's definitely something that we're going to be in for a treat. Again, anything can happen. It usually does. Obviously, the big one, everybody's always looking for it. Everybody's always expecting it. And honestly, that's why a lot of people watch Daytona, because they want to see the big one. And we'll see what these guys can do to avoid being a part of that. So it should be exciting, and I'm definitely looking forward to it.
Now, this is going to be an interesting event. It's a special event for the Sim Racers for Mental Health. Let's take a look at how the details shape out for tonight's event. It is, in total, 60 laps. Apologies there for the glitch title. Now it shows 60 as per noted. It is with the trucks, with the NASCAR Gander Outdoors. There's RV and Truck Series machines. Of course, these drivers have had now nearly 30 plus minutes to practice for tonight. For this event, they do have a fast repair available. They also have 75% the fuel limit. This is also fixed setups for these trucks this evening. Now, as mentioned at the top of the broadcast, this is a charity race as well, in support of Shine MSD, a charitable organization formed after the Marjorie Stoneman Douglas High School shooting back in February 2018. It exists to help survivors, family, and the community help through the arts. Their mission is to harness the power of artistic expression to inspire hope and unity in the aftermath of tragedy. To donate, go to shinemsd.network/85254/shine-msd-healing-through-the-arts. Now, first things first, let's talk about the track conditions, because they are very cool for tonight here, Rocco. Just 74 degrees track temp, 71 degrees the air temp.
Well, yeah, actually being in Florida myself, that's really not that far of what we're experiencing now. It's actually a really cool night, especially for February. But no, it's a nice night for racing. It's always nice to see the cars hook up when they can catch some of that cool air.
Indeed. The winds, though, going to be very interesting as well. They're currently gusting around to the northeast at 6 miles an hour, make it 8 towards the banks in 1 and 2. Now, overall, more than 30 trucks are in the field for tonight, and they're looking to battle for a grand prize of $20. These drivers right now feature many different competitors that have raced in Sim Racers for Mental Health's Cup Series and different truck series throughout the past few seasons, throughout 2019 onward. It's also the chance for many air drivers to give to a charitable cause and race for tonight's competition. Your thoughts on the field tonight, Rocco?
Well, yeah, it's always a good thing to just do anything for charity, let alone something you love. And Daytona and super speedway racing, I think it's something we all love. But it's just always good to see a group of guys that can get together and hopefully have a great race and, keep everything clean. Because we got a lot of different racers here. We got some guys up in the 3,000s, and we got some guys in the triple digits. So it'll be interesting to see these guys coming together and see what kind of show they could put on for us tonight, Justin.
Absolutely, and that's in reference to iRating, which is the iRacing's way of rating some of the drivers for certain splits. Some of the top drivers to keep an eye on at the top of the pylon for practice at the moment: Tony Edmondson, Tyler Foti, two memorable names in Sim Racers for Mental Health competition. Patrick Hoser in third, Tyler Dixon in fourth, Sean Stevens rounds up the top 5 in practice. Among some of the air drivers to keep an eye on tonight: Brendan Johnson in the 12 machine currently in the mid-pack for practice. Also keep an eye on drivers like Jalen Battle, Blake Treywick. Also keep an eye, mind you, too, at one of the eNASCAR Ignite Series competitors in Presti Sorla in the 98 machine. He's currently also inside the top 10. Currently looking at the moment at the 43 truck, that's Tony Edmondson up at the top of the board. But one of the main things when it comes to this racetrack here, and with this package here, Rocco, it's so difficult to hold on to the front because you have so much momentum you have with these trucks, and it's so hard to push.
Oh yeah, and that's something that you always got to watch out for, because these guys are always going to be trying to push one another, and they have intention. We've seen it so many times. They want to help the guy in front of them, but every now and then there's just a little misfire in the communication, and the guy in the back, unfortunately, can send the guy in front. So we're going to have to see these guys work together, but we're going to have to see these guys work together smartly, and they're going to have to be patient. There's a lot of ground to cover from start to finish here.
As a driver, what in your opinion would be the best strategy you think for a race like this, especially when you have to think about the fuel, but also have to keep an eye how many laps you are having on the board, as well as keep an eye on track position? What's your strategy to try and come on top?
I think the best strategy is, like I said, to be patient, but that gets so hard that you start clicking off lap after lap, and you find yourself kind of rolling mid-pack, and you don't really want to be anywhere where you're going to be in trouble, but you don't want to fall too far. So you find yourself actually having to will yourself to work your way up, because you just want to make sure you're in that prime position. So I have to say patience. We could talk, and we will talk, about strategy and fuel, depending on how the cautions fall. And it's just something that I think the patient guy today, the guy who picks his spots and gets a little lucky, I think he's the one that's going to come out on top.
Qualifying now underway on the track. It is solo qualifying for the next 5 minutes or 2 laps set by these drivers. And one of the main things that's always the discussion point at Daytona and Talladega, the super speedways on the iRacing service, the importance of maintaining and building up momentum and speed to have the best qualifying lap. There's different methods that we've talked about on GSRC over the years. It's been different types of methods from the drivers now using the middle to bottom lines. In your opinion, Rocco, what's the best way to get the fastest qualifying lap if you're some of these drivers tonight?
I always stay low, personally. I know it works at Talladega a little better than it does at Daytona, but I like being low. I think on the big super speedways, I think having a good run out of the gate from the pits is important. The first lap, you're not really you don't have to really warm up the tires, so you can just go flat out from lap 1. So you need that momentum to take you into lap 2. Some of the smaller tracks, you have to kind of let it go lap 1 before you really gun it. But I think just out of the gate here, you just pang the gas, go as hard as you can, and try to get the quickest time you can.
Taking a look at Brandon Johnson on your screen in the Georgia Diecast machine, trying to build up speed. Bit of a bobble, though, off of turn number 2. And a lot of these different drivers have entered tonight's event as a team, and teamwork is one of the main things that can be a discussion point tonight, because if you don't have friends, or in some cases teammates, you might not get help. There are teams such as RGR Motorsports and Indy Autosport competing in tonight's race. For example, in some of those organizations, how important, in your opinion, will that teamwork be to try and take the checker flag?
Teamwork's one of the most important things. It's really hard when you're running out here by yourself, because you need somebody that's going to come with you. If you're riding around on the bottom, you're going to want to eventually try to move up top and get that line going. You need at least one person, and more often than that, that's going to be your teammate. Hopefully you can build that second line and work that different path and try to get up front. So team is definitely something that's important here. We're obviously going to look for those guys to hook up, try to find each other early in the race, and hopefully keep each other safe and get each other through.
Absolutely. As you take a look at Tyler O'Neill, currently so far, 14 drivers have put in their first times. That is continuing to grow on the left side of your screen. But the second lap is the most important of them all. Currently the fastest is a 51.484 from Jacob Prince. You're taking a look at him up on your screen in the purple Los Angeles Lakers machine. His second lap is actually a bit slower, a 51.5. That is an unusual sight.
Yeah, and we got the tribute to Kobe card as we take a peek in here at Presley Sora, who just went up on pole, 51.462. Quick wrap around here, followed just by, oh, he was actually outdone by Dixon, 51.413. So some interesting movement up at the top.
And if for those who have followed on GSRC over the years with the Sim Racers for Mental Health's different series, Tyler Dixon is one of the super speedway aces of its organization. Again, keep an eye on him. Currently second is Reese Ferret. Presley Soares in third. Nicholas Panico in fourth. Alan Wilson the third rounds out the current top five. But there's still a minute and 10 seconds, and already everyone knows the importance of track position as well as potential pit selection. Already all but about 6 trucks all qualifying or on the track, including William Kruska, who crashes on his attempt.
Ooh, that definitely looked like it hurt. But yeah, that's important. That pit selection is very important. Especially if you got 30 trucks coming down pit line at one time, you want to make sure you're ahead, and you don't want to make sure that you're not turning in front of anybody, because that's where the fun starts to happen.
Yeah, indeed. As a driver, though, do you prefer an early pit box in the grand scheme of things, or do you prefer something at the end of the pit lane? What's your preference?
Again, I want to be at the end. I want everybody to be peeling off before I'm pulling into my pit stop. It's for me, it's tough. I know some guys can nail it every time, but I got to really concentrate. So I like as little traffic around me when I try. And usually, if you're up front, you get less when you're stopping.
Some drivers are taking the bus stop, others are peeling their way off to pit road. In total, all but 6 trucks end up recording a time. 34 total machines have made their way to the World Center of Racing to Daytona International Speedway for tonight's Shine MSD 250. It's time to take a look at your starting grid. 28 trucks put in official times, with Tyler Dixon getting the best of those times with a 51.413. J1 Battle starts in second. Rounding out in row number 2 is Reese Ferret along with Warren Keith with a 51.456. Presley Soares starts in 5th. Nicholas Panico in 6th. Alan Wilson III starts in 7th in row 4 with Jamie Dobbs in 8th. Jacob Prince, one of the early qualifiers, who set a blistering first lap qualifying time in the Kobe Bryant Tribute Machine, starts in 9th. He is 1/100th of a second quicker than the 10th place qualifier, Wesley Ford.
Right, Justin, we take a look at row 6. Tyler O'Neill starts in 11th, and Brandon Johnson is going to be alongside him in 12th. Blake Trawick in 13th, alongside Garrett Powell in 14th. Tyler Fody and Patrick Hosier make up row 8 and 15th and 16th, respectively. Nathan Rabideau and Rich Mitchell will be in 17th and 18th, and rounding out your top 20 is going to be Tony Edmondson in the 43, a 19th spot, and then William Kruska rounding out the top 20 in 20th.
Rocky Hartpent starts in 21st position. On his outside is Lauren Shaughnessy. Pardon me on that one. Joshua Greer is in 23rd. Brock Brewery starts in 24th. Lockie Brown in 25th. Thomas Vrisikas in 26th position. Steve Rada in 27th. Nicholas Rees rounds out the top 28 in the qualifiers. Rest of the grid starts from the rear. Emmanuel Lopez, Scott Ricard, Sean Stevens, Adam Coles, Rafael Sabara, and Brandon Carr. Now, should note before we take the green flag that multiple drivers have elected to take end of longest line penalties. They do get to keep their pit box selection, which is key, but Verrett, Rees, Prince, Howell, Johnson, Rich Mitchell, Tyler O'Neill, and Nicholas Panico have all elected to go to the back of the field for tonight's race. Now, in your opinion, Rocco, what are the keys to victory to come home with the checker flag tonight?
All right, well, we already covered patience, so that's one thing. I think in a lot of luck tonight, Justin. You really don't want to say it because you want to know that your skill is what gets you to victory lane, but at Daytona, you got to get lucky. You got to be able to squeeze by that big one, or you got to be able to find that little gap and hold it. You can't run out of skill, so patience, a little bit of luck, and just staying focused and just trying to be there. You got to survive to win. You got to be in it to win it. So that's what I feel is going to be key tonight.
Yeah, this is going to be important to try and make sure you get in the right positions for tonight. Wesley Ford, by the way, one of the last EOLs on the grid. Before we get to the green flag, what else do you feel we should keep an eye on for tonight's race, Rocco, especially with the 75% fuel?
Well, yeah, it's going to be a matter of when to pit. Fuel strategy is going to play a big key. And that's obviously going to be dictated by how long we go green. We love green flag racing here, so hopefully it goes green as long as possible. It would be interesting to see how long these guys elect to stay out, because you can't pit by yourself. You can't lose the draft. So there's a lot of moving and shaking that's going to be going on if we happen to see some green flag stops. Looking forward to it.
Looking forward to some good racing tonight in the name of charity. Sim Racers for Mental Health in the Shine MSD 250. Again, the driver's in control of the field. It's Tyler Dixon on the inside, his Toyota Tundra. He'll also have a failed Toyota Tundra towards his outside line. Check that as Chevrolet in Jalen Battle in the 33. Pace car getting ready to get off the track. Drivers ready to go to take the green flag. We're racing from Daytona International Speedway as the Shine MSD 250 gets underway.
A nice clean start, hoping these guys can get into turn one without any incident, but looks like that they're handling it. Looks like these guys that came out ready to go. A nice one. Nice start, very clean. Already getting excited.
Should note there was a couple of checkups where drivers actually went to the apron at the back end of the field. Everyone else, though, able in the single file line or side by side in the lead group. Jalen Battle already hooking up with a friend behind him, trying to keep the momentum going up on the top side. That's Warren Keith trying to give him the shove. Working their way through 3 and 4. The bottom line, though, the quickest way around in the corners. Dixon on the bottom, but being ditched already by Presley Sora. The RaceToolsDirect.com machine leads lap number 1 from Daytona.
Yeah, that's a nice, actually, nice out of the gate, and a good recovery from a lot of guys in the back. It could have had something happen, slightly large moment happening on the first couple turns of the race, but everybody's away clean, still going strong. Good race.
Still a long ways to go, though. Already drivers checking up on the top line, in fact, a little bit. A bit of checking up between Patrick Hoser, Tony Edmondson, as well as William Kruzka. They're all trying to drop back. That's on the end of the top line. Getting a little bit dicey already at this early go.
Yeah, these guys are definitely feeling racy. Long way to go, but I don't know. Definitely a little racy for my blood at lap 3. But these guys are good, and they're holding on to it. So definitely doing a little bit of banging.
One of the main things for those who will follow super speedway racing on GSRC know that if you're up on the top line, that's the place you want to be down the straightaways, because that's the quicker of the runs. However, again, if you stick that bottom line, Rocco, you just carry much more momentum down that bottom group.
Yeah, that bottom line is something that a lot of times, if you got it, you just stick to it and you just kind of ride it, especially with a race this long. But that top line, if you get a few guys up there and you really start moving, that thing can start moving really fast, and you can find yourself just working your way up the field.
And others, they're saying, I want to go to the back of the field. You've seen one of those drivers just a moment ago. That's the 6 machine you've seen on the screen when Kruzka. So some of these drivers looking like they want to stay at the back here, Rocco, and that's again a strategy call. Where that could be where the patience comes in, hoping that they don't get involved in the worst possible situation.
Well, like everything, you got to, moderation is key. So you don't want to be too patient. You got to moderate it, because if you start losing that draft, if you start falling behind that main pack, now you start hoping for the caution, and you hope you're not part of the caution. So there's definitely a little bit of give and take with the strategy. Something to look out for.
Big check up on the bottom side. Drivers already on the apron. Looks like they save it. That was very tight. Looked like somebody clipped the apron. The second car on the bottom who's trying to give a shot to Sora. It looks like it was Tyler Dixon who hit the apron in the 44 and caused that massive
Well, again, let's take a look at that again, Justin.
You're going to see this on GSRC replay, and you can see just turns it a little bit too much on the entry to turn 3 and rides the apron the whole way into turn 4.
Oh, that is such a tough position to be in. You're holding on to it. You don't want everybody to go by you, but you don't want to spin back out on the apron. Nice little save. I think a couple guys needed to help themselves to not cause the big one.
Yeah, that could have been dicey. There were 3-4 drivers on the apron in the end trying to dodge that, but already drivers getting single file on the bottom side. Sora is in the lead at the moment. Second spot again is Keith, Dobbs, Edmondson, and Battle round out the top 5. By the way, plus 15 for Edmondson, the driver you're following along with, though Keith has been committed to pushing whoever's in front of him.
Right, and that's what you got to do. You got to get right on the back of the guy in front of you. But again, you got to exercise some of that patience. Can't hit him too hard or just go around. And you don't want to cause that. You don't want to be the cause of somebody spinning on the backstretch.
Yeah, that's one of the main things here with the truck, Rocco. How do you try and balance trying to get the proper push? Because it was compared to when the Cup Series changed its package to being like the trucks. Lots of momentum down the straightaways, where it ends up leading to big shots and big bumps down the straightaway.
Well, yeah, and you don't want to get there too late. You don't want to start getting into that guy's bumper once he starts leaning into turn 3, because then it takes a lot less to turn him around. And you're really trying to help the guy in front of you. And a lot of times, unfortunately, just the air doesn't work. And he goes around and he's upset. And all you were trying to do is get him around the car on the other lane.
Yeah, these drivers right now trying to show a little restraint, but also try and keep themselves racing forward. Edmondson wants to try and get the race lead. He's that yellow Toyota Tundra on the outside. He gets the shove once more and leads his first lap of the race. Remember, he started in the back half of the field. Just can't get down, however. Jalen Battle trying to help him.
Yeah, and there's an example of that top line coming together and working. They just shot him right up so he could at least get that lap led. A lot of times, what we're seeing right now happens. You see that bottom line form back up, and then everybody gets caught up outside. But we saw how that top line can work. We'll see if anybody chooses to exploit it as we get later in the race.
Edmondson got a huge run down the back straightaway again. We'll see if he can get the run back and see if he can get clear heading to turn number 1, or if he elects to stay up with Jalen Battle. This is something we see with some drivers where they work together and want to get both of them clear, not just the one of them. Not as good of a run that time. In fact, a bit of a bobble on the push. The driver is starting to check up on the bottom line. Joshua Gear, ended up having nowhere to go or just trying to decide if he went low or top as Patrick Hosier filled that bottom line. That's that green, number 77, you see on the bottom line.
Yeah, as we watch this top half form up and form a couple different lanes, we see that the field has definitely split. There's a main group, and then there's that secondary pack, and there's definitely a little bit of a area in between these two groups. So we definitely seen a couple groups emerge, and we'll see how it goes, because obviously the group in the back is gonna have to line up. They do not want to lose this draft of about 20 lead cars.
Now, right now, as you mentioned, about 22 trucks are in the lead pack at the moment. Check that 23. The next group is about 2 seconds behind, 2.5 seconds in fact, led by Garrett Powell at the moment. But as this is going on, the top line still trying to work together, but just can't get a run together to get clear. Yes, there's open space in front. The problem is, there isn't open space on the bottom quite yet. It just seems that top line can't form up quite yet, or quite as well.
Right, Justin, and you see them trying. The guys on the inside seem to be wobbling a little bit back and forth. I wonder if some of those gusts that you were talking about pre-race is affecting these guys on the backstretch and into the turns, because they're moving back and forth. You like to hope a guy in the front part of the pack would drive a little bit more straight, but they're definitely back and forth a little bit. It'll be something to see if hopefully they don't get into someone's door.
And that's one of the main challenges too with the fixed setup too, Rocco, is when you have to think about things such as that in the open set, you can make adjustments to try and affect the handling a little bit for the super speedways, gain some speed. In the fixed setup, you have to drive to what the setup is, and in some cases, if you aren't holding onto the wheel as hard as you can, there's the chance you sway down these straightaways, and that wind is currently gusting from 7 to 9 miles an hour too to add to the pressure. 3 wide, however, going on for third position. That is Edmondson forced up to the top line. Jalen Battle trying to push the middle line as Jamie Dobbs looks to try and join his teammate up the front.
Yeah, I think that was a good example of some give and take going on early in the race. Getting forced 3 wide is always unpleasant. You never want to be there. It was a good looking out to slow down and let that group go back into a double file stance. Good racing there, good give and take. Already some patience being exhibited early on.
And already some of these teammates showing how they want to play this race. A few of them want to be in that second group behind the pack for the time being and figure things out from there. The Indy Autosport machines, seems like majority of them want to find their way up to the front, especially since their teammate is burning a lot of fuel by being that lead car on the bottom.
Well, right, and we actually essentially have 2 lead cars right now. So you don't want to be that guy leading the second group, because not only are you in the second group losing the draft, but you're burning just as much fuel as the leaders. So definitely something these guys are going to have to start to consider, because now there's big groups. They're separated by about 5 seconds. So these guys got to start understanding that this is their group for the race, and it's something they're going to have to look forward to actually think about pitting. So they're going to have to come as a group.
And it's going to be difficult to try and make sure you come in as a group too. There's a reason the exit of turn 4 is called Calamity Corner. Many of a caution flag have been caused by cars colliding, or trucks in this case, colliding on pit exit. They're still at least a ways away until these drivers have to worry about that, at least 16 laps or so. But many of these competitors pretty soon are going to have to work their way to the bottom to think about if they're going to split this race in half or if they're going to go to the end of the tanks.
Well, right. Obviously, the strategy behind going to the end of the tank is hoping to catch that caution. And nothing's better than having half your opponents have to pit in green flag conditions, and you get to cruise in with yellow. But that's always something. It can happen at any point, and it's definitely something that these guys have to consider when they pit, when that caution is going to come out, if that caution is going to come out. So a lot of strategy yet to be determined, as you said, very early on.
Again, for those tuning in, you're watching the Shine MSD 250 on the Global SimRacing Channel, where Presley Sora is in the lead, has led a majority of the laps so far, and things are getting dicey on that bottom again.
Right, Justin. Yeah, they're definitely having a little bit of a powwow in the middle of the track. A little bit of a beaten. I don't think anybody touched, but they're getting close. It happens. It's Daytona. Move. I'm coming.
Some of these drivers are wanting to get to the front. Others are trying to get up to the top. Up on that top line, leading that group again is the 77. That's Patrick Hoser looking to make some money moves in the MyRacing.com machine. The outside line, though, already dragging the brakes a little bit. 5, 6, 7, 8 trucks all lined up in that group behind that green number 77.
And see, that's when you want to be somebody like Patrick Hoser on the outside coming into the stretch on that outside line. But you definitely see how it rubber bands back and forth. And you get a good run on that backstretch, but once you hit the turns, that inside line picks up. Patrick Hoser dropping down, challenging for the lead a half a lap ago. Now he's trying to find a way back into the inside line, and it's always a risk to get stuck out on that top line.
Some of the drivers are actually wanting to go and join him on the top line. Tyler Fody jumped up there. He's in that 40 machine. That's the 4th driver up on the top line. But again, they're just not building up the same amount of momentum. 3-4 miles an hour difference between that bottom choo-choo train and the top choo-choo train. That top train means one thing, everyone wanting to use them to gain momentum for themselves. That time, Blake Trawick jumping to the top in the Moo Moo car with Jalen Battle.
Right, and those guys jumping out of the middle line, trying to pick up those guys in the back of the top line, and that's how you get it done. You need the guys on top to stay committed, though. We see a little bit of swerving in the backs, a couple of undecideds about where they want to be, but you need that top line to stay together. That's what's going to get it to move.
Indeed, and right now it's starting to move a little bit. Nathan Rabideau now leads that top line in the 93 machine. Looking to still get momentum. These drivers not side drafting as aggressive as you would think early on in this race. Wanting to give some space. That is something we'll see later on. A bit of a bubble that time on the push, and it might be difficult to push Rabideau. You see that back end curled in a little bit? That might make it hard to make a square bump.
Oh yeah, and Rabideau rocking the Seinfeld car. First one of those I've seen. Props to him. I'm definitely digging it. But he's leading that top line, and I think he's got it. Those guys in the back, though, I'm watching them. They got to stick together. I never understood that. When I'm racing in an oval and guys don't want to stick together, they got to. We'll see a lot more movement if these guys form a solid line here.
Yeah, that top line still has 4 trucks lined up in a row, but some huge shoves still coming for Presley Sola from the back end. Warren Keith really trying to help out that Indy Autosport machine on that bottom group still. Coming in lap number 20, 41 laps to go in the Shine MSD 250. And again, the lead pack is starting to shed trucks. Here's one of the main things for those tuning in for the first time for our iRacing event. In a fixed race, there is the chance as the last truck or car in a group, you will potentially lose the draft. Brock Drury is one of those drivers who has a bit of damage in the 99, so the lead pack is down to 22 trucks, Rocco.
Yeah, it's always tough to be in that spot. You're watching the pack get smaller and smaller, and you're watching your speedometer, hoping that it goes beyond what it's supposed to at full throttle, and then you realize I'm gone, and you just kind of watch them disappear in the distance. That gap in between those two groups now is 5.5 seconds. I think we've established our two groups for this run of green laps.
Yeah, the gap between the two groups is now 6 seconds. That is a massive distance between those two groups. And that might be some potential trouble for those drivers if they don't get a yellow flag. Currently now 5 seconds back because of some checkups in this group. Here's that second group we were just referring to, though. Garrett Powell is currently leading the bottom choo-choo train. Rich Mitchell trying to work with them. Nicholas Pacino, Tyler O'Neill, Thomas Bricos in the Sim Racers for Mental Health machine. The RGR machine of Reese Barrett, who's looking to make some moves and cutting to the bottom, in fact. Sean Stevens, Brendan Johnson amongst some of those drivers. That bottom line, though, is not working to gain the momentum they need. They're only going 187, 186. That lead pack is reaching that right at the start of the straightaways.
Yeah, and it's going to be tough to catch this group up here. They're doing what they got to do. They're staying in single file. But as you said, Justin, they're just not able to muster the speed that they need to get up there. They might, as we lose some of the stragglers from the main pack and they pick them up, they might gain a little bit of momentum, but they really need something to happen at this point.
By the way, as we were just showing that Nathan Rabideau is now the race leader in front of Presley Solra, so that helps out his fuel situation a little bit. That means Blake Trawick up on that top line, who led last time by, is dropping that Dirty Buck Gaming machine hard, trying to get some help from some of his fellow Sim Racers for Mental Health Cup Series competitors. Try and get up towards this run in. 38 laps to go. Racing still intense here at this point. What are you thinking of if you're a driver, Rocco?
Well, right now I'm thinking I'm a third of the way through this thing. I'm starting to look at how many laps are left and planning my strategy. I think the thing to think about right now is that looming pit stop. That's going to make or break a lot of these guys. That's what's on my mind. Making sure I keep a solid line, respecting the guys around me, and hopefully bringing it in and getting some gas and making it a clean operation.
Yeah, and for these competitors, it's going to still be important to make sure you keep mistake-free. Brandon Carr just drove up to the top line and scrubbed the safer barrier in the Epilepsy Sucks machine. The 55 machine is now at the back end of the group with damage to the right side of his whole entire truck.
Right, and that's tough. That's again, that's one of those things that happens. You lose a little bit of concentration, you rub the wall, and now he's struggling to keep with the main group. And unfortunately, that's how quick something like this can go bad. Everybody's starting to get spaced out, and you can't make a mistake. And he's definitely feeling the pain from that little brush up.
That's one of the Sim Possible Racing League machines competing tonight. In the lead, though, Rabideau was just under attack from Warren Keith up on the top line. Keith wants to lead this time by Rabideau, though. Gets credit for the lap led by 1/1000th of a second. That's how close this racing can get here at Daytona International Speedway. Coming to 35 laps to go. The thing is, though, these drivers eventually are going to have to cut their way to the bottom. They're about 5 laps away, coming this time by to the halfway point to try and get ready to pit.
Right, and Justin, again, that's where this race is going to turn. That's going to be the turning point of this race. I think the guy that's able to get in and out as clean as possible, I think he's going to be one of the threats to win this race. At this point, it seems likely we are going to pit under green flag conditions, and it's going to be the operation. It's going to be who gets through it the cleanest.
Indeed. You can see on that bottom ticker, Keith got the lead lap last time by in his Toyota Tundra. Rabideau still controls the bottom side as this continues to progress, though, at the moment. Again, for Rabideau, it's a +16, Keith a +2, Treywick a +10. Keep an eye, though, of Steve Rada. He's in 7th position at the moment. His 15 truck is a +20, about +21, in fact, in one of the Shine MSD machines. In that red-white machine designed by Splash and Go Graphics up on the top line.
And what a picturesque background we have for this race. I'm watching air traffic happen in the back while we watch these guys rock up and down this track at 190 miles an hour. These guys are putting on a show for us almost halfway through. Very excited to see what we're in for the second half.
Indeed. Who are some of the drivers you're keeping on? You mentioned one of them. Who else are you keeping an eye on in this pack to try and come away with the W?
I'm taking a look at the 33 of Jalen Battle. I think he's looked a little racy, especially Sawyer right behind him. I think those two guys might be somebody to look out for toward the end of this. Saw some good leading on the outside pack by Patrick Hosier in the 77. I like what he was doing. And then, as you said at the top of the show, Tony Edmondson, he looks like he's chilling back there around the 11th spot. And I think those guys are definitely going to be making
trouble in the second pack.
Trouble.
Yes, indeed. A couple drivers went off to the apron at the back end of the group. I should correct myself. Scott Ricard got in a bit of trouble. Jamie Dobbs also was spun on, but they were both below the double yellow line, so no caution flag. The reason? A bad bump coming from the 9 machine ends up shuffling down Dobbs across the nose of the 05.
Yeah, truly a little bit of bad luck for those guys. We picked it up. They were already in the grass, but they were already running in the back, so now they're going to lose contact with that second pack. Definitely a group of guys that are hoping that we get a yellow flag soon.
Some bad luck. Ricard already off to the pit lane, and that's the faster pair being used right there. However, is not going to have crafting help after losing so much time there. Already a lap down in the 7th iRacing machine. One of the wall racing entries is now in 33rd position. One of a couple drivers, 1 lap down. Now it becomes the question, when do you peel down if you're the rest of these competitors after seeing what just happened?
I think you go when everybody else goes. I don't think at this point there's any reason to start getting cute and looking for teammates. I think you just go when the...
trouble! Into turn
there we
number
go.
3!
I already teed down.
And the driver spinning around.
Caution's out.
Yes, indeed. Rocky Hartpence, one of the drivers against the outside wall for the first yellow flag of the Shine MSD 250. Hartpence got turned around after a massive check by Nicholas Rees in the 36. That was on the entry to turn number 3 and ended up collecting another truck and flipping over Joshua Gear.
That was unfortunate. He got a little bit below the yellow line and he tried to correct himself and he ended up getting turned, and he did. He got turned into somebody. I didn't quite catch who that was.
And you're going to see the 71, you see the shot, there's a big checkup, and right there gets turned on and unfortunately collects a third bystander and flips them upside down.
Right, and that was just unfortunate. I think it was the 97 truck. I don't know if I was correct on that. I'm trying to see for some reason. It's a 27. It was the 27 truck who was the unfortunate recipient of that door shunt. That 27, sorry, that 27 is unfortunately looks definitely hurt, and I don't know how much more he's got left.
Here's the bright spot. There's the fast repair. The thing is, though, matter of getting to pit road on the lead lap. Here's a look now from here as he's going and doesn't know what's happening below him.
Joshua Gear, unfortunate, man. We've all been there.
Terrible luck there as he did have to take the tow truck. So yes, he's got the fast repair. Problem is the tow truck about 2-3 minutes in time. That takes the fuel strategy though out of the equation. The rest of the drivers now will split it right up the middle with their pit stops here. Everyone down for fuel.
Here it goes.
And most of these drivers are going to be taking 4 tires because the amount of time you have on the stall, Rocco, ends up being amounting to the full tank.
Absolutely, and here it goes. This is all about getting into your stall, getting in clean, and getting out. A lot of action about to happen. Let's see if these guys can keep it clean.
Nathan Rabideau was the first one out. Craziness for second on back. Like Treywick, though, he's going to have to sacrifice a couple positions as they sort themselves out of that race. Keith, Dixon, Treywick, and Sorrell is how they'll sort out the top 5 off the pit lane. This is also major help for some of the other drivers, such as Dobbs, Jacob Prince, Brandon Carr, Lauren Shanazy, amongst some of the drivers who lost touch with the lead pack and ended up losing tons of time or were already in range of getting lapped. This also, in turn, put Scott Ricard back on the lead lap as well.
Right, and those guys are the recipients of a well-timed caution for themselves. Happy to take advantage of that for sure.
Indeed, coming to 29 laps to go here. Again, Nathan Rabideau is in the lead. Again, Keith is in second. Dixon, Treywick, Sora round out the top 5 as they sort things out of the racetrack. And now it gets interesting here, Rocco, for this race because there were different packs of drivers. You take that now out of the equation potentially because you don't have to worry about fuel. You have to worry about trying to get to the checker flag and winning the race.
Well, yeah, now it's all about finding your teammate. It's all about getting with that guy that's going to work with you in air. You know, everybody watching feels it. The drivers feel it. You kind of take a deep breath. You settle in a little bit, and you try to just go with it and make it happen. But a lot of these guys are going to be looking for their teammates, and that's going to be key to the end of this race.
Absolutely at this point, and already the drivers rolling along the yellow line. They are being told, the drivers right now, that the leader does have, if they want, should note, lane choice rather, for this upcoming restart. They also have to wait for the pace car to get off the circuit. Now it becomes a question here too, Rocco. Do you want to start on the top or the bottom if you're the leader?
Me personally, I like the bottom. Always a subscriber to the less ground to have to cover, the better. Also feel it's a little easier to keep the line going into turn 1 after a restart. So I like the bottom. A lot of guys will tell you differently that they like the top. We've seen the top work a lot better than the bottom line. So it really is opinion. You're going to ask me. I'm going to say bottom. I know you drive a little bit at Daytona. What do you think, Justin?
I think these drivers, again, might choose the bottom because that's where a lot of the starts come from for a lot of these competitors. But there is the advantage, though, here, Rocco. If you have a teammate that's up on the top line, there's a chance that they choose that instead to be able to work with that driver. That's something to keep an eye on as well, if they elect to do that.
I think so. A lot of decisions are going to be influenced by who's behind you at this point, and hopefully it's one of your teammates if you have a teammate. Speaking of that, the guys that don't have a teammate, they probably have found somebody at this point in the race that they feel a little bit comfortable working with. Not all these guys know each other. So it'll be interesting to see how they, in fact, link up and who they choose to go with. The teams are going to go with the teams, but it'll be interesting to see who these guys that really have no allegiance to anybody, who they decide to push.
Indeed, one to go until the restart, and Rapido has elected to take the bottom. One thing to note here, Rocco, too, some of the teams now indicating, such as Tyler O'Neill mentioning from RGR Motorsports, those drivers who were a part of that second pack, they're going to be going. Another thing to note, the lights are on here, Rocco, so the pressure is a little bit higher now as they get ready to race under the darkness.
That's right, Justin. Those lights always bring out a little bit more heat. Always a little bit more fun to see that moon poking up from behind the trees in the distance and seeing those lights come on. You got the fiery orange of the sky. Perfect environment. Uh, let's get this going. Let's get some more green flag laps in. Let's do this, boys.
Indeed. 27 laps to go for the Shine MSD 250. Trying to raise awareness in this charity race for the organization formed after the Marjorie Stoneman Douglas High School shooting in February 2018. They exist to help survivors, family, and community help through the art, heal through the arts, and their mission is to harness the power of artistic expression to inspire hope and unity in the aftermath of tragedy. To donate, once again, go to shinemsd.networkforgood.com/projects 8524. The link will be also posted to the right side of your screens. Green flag is out. We're racing once again at Daytona as they start to sparkle their cars along the front stretch.
It's always a beautiful sight to see all those colors sparkling under the lights at Daytona. Excellent start on the inside. Rabideau is bringing them around turn 2. Great start all around. Didn't see many checkups. A lot of guys got up to speed. Got a few stragglers at the back of the pack. But all in all, an excellent restart for these guys.
Indeed, already the bottom line working together pretty well. Drivers shuffling out on the top line as well. Rapido still leads the bottom. Top line sees the Toyota Tundra of Warren Keith. Amongst some of the drivers watching along, the driver that leads the top line is Dixon in the Duluth Trading Company machine. He tries to work with Presley Sola to try and retake the lead. Rapido, though, leads the first lap back under the green flag. Right now already, the top 27 separated by 2.1 seconds.
And as you said, Justin, some of those guys from that second group are definitely pushing now, trying to stay a part of that top group. Seeing a little bit of separation, I would say, from the top 12 cars on the way back. But it looks like those guys behind them are going to be able to close that gap and keep this one big solid group.
One driver tries to peek to the outside line, potentially to let the air breathe to the nose. That appears to be the 40 machine of Tyler Fody trying to work up there as they come off the corner. And the amount of side draft to Rocco has intensified now that it's 25 laps to go this time. The aggression level to side draft and try and gain speed for off the corners has increased. Dixon with a huge run and a huge shot off into turn 1.
Wow, that was some shot on the outside. Just watching to see if he can hold it. Rabideau is pushing hard on that inside line. Oh, that was some run from the outside. I saw those guys coming. I didn't understand how he wasn't able to hold it. Good back and forth here. I think he might lead this lap, though. They got the run again.
Some of the drivers shuffling back and forth in the mid part of the pack, but Dixon still trying to side draft very aggressively to the back end of the 93. He's now getting side drafted, however, by a couple other trucks. That top line stays stagnant. And it could be difficult to try and get clear with the side draft. Use it as a way to try and slow down the truck underneath and gain speed for yourself. The top line, noteworthy for trying that by getting as close as they can right now to get that side draft like Dixon is.
Yeah, Justin, and you could feel that side draft when you're that inside car. It's almost like there's a big monster on the outside pushing you down, and the car just doesn't want to move like it did before that guy got right on your door. As we see here, he took the inside. That was an incredible move by Dixon as we see him essentially take the lead with that pass and then finding his way on the inside.
Dixon wants to lead and trying to hold on to the bottom side, getting a huge shove once again. Presley Sobra now leads the top line. New leader, Tyler Dixon, 23 laps to go. And everybody trying to make their way up to the front at this point. Sobra still trying hard as he can, working with Tyler Fody in the 40 machine behind him.
Right, Justin, and I think this patience is about to start wearing off here in a couple laps. We're getting under 20, and you want to be in a good spot toward the end of these, to the end of this run to be in a position to challenge for this win. And I think we're going to start seeing some guys that maybe have been a little patient up to this point start to assert themselves a little bit and letting everybody else know that they're there.
And other drivers are actually slowing down the bottom line too. You see that breaking up a little bit. Adam Coles, among some of the drivers opening up the line. Others are moving up through the pack. Remember Garrett Powell, he led the second group with Tyler O'Neill and co. They're now 15th and 16th and have just joined the back end of the top line.
Right, taking a look at the 98 in the racetoolsdirect.com 98 car. The Silverado taking this inside. We got a run in the 40 by Tyler Fody coming on the outside with that line. Back and forth here. Great racing. 20 laps to go.
Tyler Fody still trying to work hard. Now is that lead truck working with Edmondson. Trey Wicker's also moved his way up to the top line as this is all shuffled around. Sobra now looking to battle side by side. The lead lap goes to Sobra by 0.000. That's how tight the racing is in the lead group. Now it becomes the question as this continues on though. Yes, the patience is going to be wearing thin, but there's going to be the question. When do you get the green light, in your opinion, to start going and trying to attack for this race lead?
I think at this point, getting to the front of the pack with 20 laps to go, that's go time. You want to get up there. I don't think it's until about maybe 3 or 4 laps when you really start considering a challenge for the lead if you're anywhere behind the 10th spot. It's something that you don't want to be leading and going into that white flag lap. We've seen it so many times, and it's just timing. It's all about the strategy. Where do you want to be when that white flag drops?
Absolutely at this point. The top line, though, with the big run, that is Fody. And drivers are wrecking at turn 1. Second caution flag of the race is out. O'Neill involved, Pettico involved, Rees involved, Hart-Pence in his second wreck. Brendan Johnson also already with a broken suspension. Caution is out once again for the second
O'Neill
time.
Spinning out, trying to keep it straight, and he finally goes around the 32 involved in that wreck. Waffle House Tundra.
See if we can take a look at the GSRC replay as Tyler Fody is the leader. Again, the driver to keep an eye on is that Waffle House machine that you're referring to there, the 32 machine. He ended up having to deal with a bit of a checkup, it looked like, almost like on that line. In fact, he got hit from behind by the 12 as that was all going along. O'Neill was just got some bad luck, it looked like, from in part a bit of a looseness and a bit of a bump into the corner.
That's all it takes at this point. A little bit of a bump, a little bit loose, put the two together, and you're spinning and you're in the grass and you're watching your race just go away.
Taking our look, and Johnson got a bump draft from the 53. It seemed like everyone started checking up for on that top line all of a sudden. Just a massive amount of difference of speed from 190 to 185 in 1 second. Absolutely huge amount of contact, immediately dropped 10 miles an hour from how hard the hit was.
We saw the 53 and Nicholas Panico seem to really be involved in a lot of that. Unfortunate to take out, from what I'm seeing, probably about 8-9 guys.
And it becomes the question for some of them, did they keep their fast repair? Because that is so crucial to remember too, Rocco. If you end up forgetting to uncheck that box, you don't have that fast repair anymore for this situation.
Justin, it pains me that you say that because I have not unchecked that box many times. So it'll be interesting to see. These guys seem to be at a much higher level than myself, but I know exactly what you're talking about, and I'll let you consider uh, talking about your own experiences with that box at some point.
Indeed, the 53 did have one. O'Neill did have one. Johnson saved his. Fuller also saved his. But you have to remember, drivers like Rocky Hartpence, they were also involved in the first caution. The 3 truck elects not to have the faster pair used. Lockie Brown, along with Thomas Frikas among some of the other drivers. Nicholas Rees not using a faster pair. Adam Coles, his truck is off. Brandon Carr saved his for this moment despite scraping the wall. In total, about 20-ish trucks stayed on the track under 18 laps to go in this race. Lucky dog is Subaru, who's been a lap down since the early portion of this race. Meanwhile, seems like people are taking the Joker lap.
We see that graph, the graphic that's been posted just shows some of the movement that we've seen in this field. Definitely some big movers there. Edmondson up 17 spots to second spot. And how about Fody leading the race, coming from 15th place? You can see that graphic for all the way from 1 to 20, showing you how that top 20 has gotten to where they are now.
Just about a majority of the top 10 didn't start there in this race. A lot of those drivers who qualified up at the front, remember, some of them elected to take EOLs, while others just were involved in some of the incidents you have seen in the past few laps or so. 17 to go now. What's the thought process if you're a driver in this situation? Because now, yeah, in some of these cases, there's the chance the aggression level is going to go even higher with potentially about 15 laps to go when we restart.
Yeah, Justin, I think that's a very good chance. It's $20 on the line. There's a little bit of scratch at the end of this. These guys race hard, and in races during the week that don't mean anything. Now a little bit of extra for the pocket, a little bit of bragging rights. I think that chance is very high that the aggression level goes up. We'll see. We'll call it controlled aggression, hopefully.
Taking a look at Presley's 98 machine, for example, he's been one of the drivers who have led a majority of the laps tonight. He has been looking to stay up at the front and lead laps in that Indy Autosport machine. Edmondson, Fody among some of the others. At this point, who is your favorite at this point, based on what we've seen again with how this is all played out?
I'm gonna go with who I've seen up front a lot tonight. I'm gonna go with the 93. I'm gonna go with Nathan Rabideau. I like what I've seen from him. I like how he drives when he's on that inside line. Since you're gonna pin me to the wall and make me pick, I'm going to go with the 93 to win tonight. How about you, Justin? Let's get a little bit of thoughts from you. Who do you think takes it?
Well, I asked the question, may as well answer the same type of thing. That 98 machine has been so good. It's just a matter, though, of keeping it clean and hooking up with the right people. He does have someone near him he might be able to hook up again, who might be comfortable with them in Warren Keefe. If Keefe can cut his way up to that bottom line where that 98 is, and work with that RTD machine in the Indy Autosport truck. 1 to go this time by Fody the leader, Edmondson second, Sora, Treywick, Dixon, Battle, Rabideau, Hosier, along with Kruzka and Keith round out the top 10. This is about to get wild, coming to 15 laps to go.
And this is why these guys do this. The early part of the race, you're just trying to survive. You're just trying to be there. Now there's 15 laps to go. The gloves are off. Always a good chance for a temper or two to light up. These boys want to win. They want to win. Some of them don't know each other. Some of them don't have much to lose. So this is going to be a fun 15 laps, Justin.
28 drivers are on the lead lap. Another thing to note, so lots of potential for drivers looking to cut their way from 28 to first. If they can get a miracle as well, it's going to get dicey. Do you see a third line forming up here, Rocco, in your opinion, or do you see that later on in the final stages?
That's what I was going to say, Justin. I think you start seeing that third line materialize around 4, maybe 3, 4 laps to go. It's no fun to be anywhere in a three wide jam. So you don't really want to do it. But if you see a spot and you think you have the skill to say pass on the outside and take it three wide, then by all means go for it. But that's when you start seeing the fireworks, when somebody runs just a little short of that skill, and then they can't get it done.
Green flag is out. We're back racing from Daytona International Speedway. Tyler Fody already leading the bottom side. A great jump, though, from Sora on the bottom side, already squeezing his way to the bottom. Fody, though, wants to work with Edmondson up on the top side as the Chevrolet Silverado gets to the underneath part of the track to get himself back to the race lead.
Right, Justin, and these guys are fighting hard. Came at it from the green. They want to lead this race. 15 laps to go. Fires are lit. Let's get this done.
Coming to 14 laps to go already. Some drivers getting shuffled out three wide in the central hole at the back end of the lead pack. The drivers still side by side at the head of the group. Soma on the bottom side, Fody on the top side, Tyler Dixon the first pusher on the bottom. Fody
there he goes, he's around!
Truck's upside down, caution flag is out. It's the big one at Daytona. Everyone in the lead pack involved.
Oh, wow, that's a carnage everywhere, Justin. Oh, wow, I don't know how many are involved. A lot. Oh.
Battle is the leader. He avoided all of that. He did get a bit of contact, but it came down to a bad push on the top from Edmondson, and he just hooked the right rear portion of Fody's back bumper. And now, in turn, that caused absolute calamity you'll see on the GSRC replay. That's the 43 up on the top.
That is just unfortunate to see that happen in front of so many cars.
And that's the difficulty of bump drafting we're referring to with the trucks. If you don't have it lined up square, you see the results.
Carnage behind it. Oh, wow.
That is 15, 20 trucks, and a majority of them, remember, may have already used faster pairs in this race. Just nowhere for a majority of the pack to go in the trial.
Just looking through the field, Rabideau got a good piece of that. Rich Mitchell with damage. Garrett Powell. Reese Verrett, not even on the track. Patrick Hosier. Oh, they all got a piece of this, Justin. I'm trying to look through the field here and try to find some clean cars, and I'm not seeing many.
Yeah, just about everybody electing to come down to the pit lane. That is how big that incident was, to take faster pairs if they have them. Other drivers are trying to get some help. Should note Adam Coles was getting a bump draft. That's in the green RaceToolsDirect.com machine. Warren keep trying to help him, instead accidentally spun him out amongst the backstretch. The rest of the drivers, though, a lot of them did have the faster pairs, thankfully. Others did not, however.
Right, Justin, and you were talking about it. When is that aggression level going to pick up? And I think we saw that. We saw guys that have been running up front this whole race just being a little too aggressive, spinning the other, and we see the aftermath. So many guys caught up. Really is going to change how the end of this race plays out. I think whether or not you were able to make it to this point with your faster pair, I think that's going to have a key effect on whether or not you finish well in this one.
Presley Solrub, one of the contenders in this race, led a majority of the laps. He's got a fresh truck, however, now has to work his way again through the pack from 11th. He's going to have to try and get some help. Sabaro, who was the lucky dog on the last caution flag, moved his way up to 10th. That's how many trucks were involved. The 53, we talked about him using the faster pair in the last caution, has to get manually repaired this time. One thing to note, there has been a change for the race lead as this has all gone on, with the different types of pit maneuvers and elections of strategy. Tony Edmondson did take the race lead. Battle came out in second. The reason? Battle ended up taking a longer stop than Edmondson. Edmondson essentially just stopped and stalled, maybe topped off on fuel, took the faster pair and went. While the 33 elected to get a little bit extra grip in that truck.
Right, Justin. I'm just going through the field, and it looks like around the top 20 area is where these trucks start. You start seeing some lingering damage. So I think it's safe to assume that most of the top 10 still had their quick repair, along with a good portion of the rest of the top 20. It's definitely something to be happy when when that you see all that wrecking, and you at least got a second chance.
Right now, trying to get a rough count of how many trucks don't have damage. At this point, about 15-ish are on the track, and they're still trying to cycle themselves out. Many others, Reese Verrett amongst some of the drivers, having to go into the lane. Scott Ricard, Emmanuel Lopez, Brock Drury, Joshua Gear, Hartpence we mentioned, all amongst some of the cars, and trucks rather, getting damage repaired. Coming to 11 laps to go, though, this time by for the Shine MSD 250. At this point, your thoughts as this has changed the entire complexion of this entire finish of this race?
Well, now everybody seems to probably be out of their fast repair, so it's all on the line now. If you manage to make it this far and you still have it, congratulations, you're in a great spot. But now the gloves are off, 10 laps to go, single digits getting ready to come upon us. This is it, Justin. This is why we watch this. This is why these guys do this.
Absolutely. And there's still trucks pitting, mind you, too, as this is all being sorted out. William Cruzco electing to go to the back. He has severe damage on his 6 machine. But one truck electing to take the wave around. That is the purple and black machine you see zooming by. 31st place is Adam Coles, believe that is there. Yes, indeed. No, it's Lockie Brown, rather. That's going to 2 laps down. Wow, the leader again is Tony Edmondson. Does that wreck affect how you try and manage your aggression now, knowing that you don't have that fast repair if you're, say, Tony Edmondson?
I think at this point you already know you were going to be aggressive with 10 laps to go, so I don't really think that matters. I think right now it's dog eat dog. Everybody's going to tell everybody good luck and keep it clean, but when you're gripping that wheel, you're thinking you're going to do anything you can to win the race. So this should be fun.
And they have delayed the restart, should note, because half the field is still making its way down the front straightaway. So they will have the delayed green flag signaled out to try and sort out the field. If you go towards 18th place, for example, that is where Scott Ricard is. Half the field not being able to be at the start is not a good thing, because if you don't keep up with the pack at the start, there's a chance you never see them again.
And that's the key to starting at a big track like Daytona. You can't lose touch with that guy in front of you. You have to keep him as close to you as possible. That's where it all is. Because as I said earlier in the race, you start seeing that lead pack getting smaller and smaller, and you just kind of hope that there's another caution, and if not, you just watch everybody drive away from you.
One of the tricky things, though, too, here is for some of these drivers, there is a mix of non-damaged trucks and damaged trucks all throughout the field here. That's going to make it potentially chaotic on the bottom and top lines to maneuver some of these trucks, potentially.
Well, yeah, and that's where you hope guys are smart, and that's where you hope guys are hopefully communicating, saying, hey, I got a damaged truck, I'm up here in third, look out for me, I'm going to go to the top, or I'm going to go to the bottom. You hope that kind of communication is going on. I'm pretty sure there is usually a good group of guys that really mix together. So you just hope that everybody works together, a little bit of give for at least the first couple laps, and then really get into it coming toward the checkers.
Taking a look at some fan-supported trucks, such as Rich Mitchell right now, that is in 13th position, plus 5 from the drop of the green flag, and one of the trucks that has had to use a fast repair. Going to be interesting to see if this Toyota Tundra makes its way forward, and we got trucks crashing down the backstretch.
Why? What are they doing? What are they doing?
The 77 in 5th place got hit from behind from Steve Rada.
What just happened?
What in the world?
The 15.
I think there was a checkup. Yeah, that's Steve Rada that hit the back end of the 77. It was right off the exit of turn number 2 down the backstretch, and now some trucks have damage because of it.
That's interesting. I just saw the 15. He didn't seem to try to correct afterwards. I don't know if something broke. Hopefully he's okay, but it looked like he just took a hard turn left out of nowhere, and he took him with him.
That's going to make it a bit tricky now for the restart because the pace car is dropping off. Green flag back out on the racetrack, and multiple trucks are still trying to sort themselves out. Edmondson with a bad start on the bottom, Battle with a great start up on the top.
Right, and that was an interesting start. I'm surprised they didn't throw the yellow again to extend that restart, but we're going, and you know, it is what it is. So let's bring this thing to the checkers.
We are hearing that the issue with the 15 truck is with Rada, his pedals had a technical issue at the worst possible time, and so that led to the contact. That in turn has made things very jumbled up here, coming to 8 laps to go. With Battle on the bottom, Rapido leading is in second. Edmondson now working with Fody, and still that 77 of Hozier able to get up to 5th position.
Well, that luck works both ways. Sometimes it's good, sometimes it's bad. That problem with the pedals, you feel bad for the guy. Everybody's been there at least once with something with their rig. It always goes wrong at the worst possible spot. So my heart's out to them. And it looks like he's trying to apologize to the group now.
Navarro apologizing among some of the drivers that had some trouble in that situation with how things were sorting out. But 7 laps to go.
Oh, we got contact in the back too. DeWalt truck in the car, and the wall. He's around.
Edmondson with severe damage, staying
91
green.
around.
Jamie Dobbs brings out the caution flag as he collects one of his Indy Autosport machines. And it's gotten interesting. That was contact again, where it seemed like that DeWalt truck you referred to just ended up scraping the wall in Edmondson.
Yeah, just an unfortunate chain reaction. And it looks like Jamie Dobbs just, he was the one that really got the worst end of that. He tried checking up. He hit the DeWalt truck, and he tried saving it, bounced off the wall, and just ended up thrown through the grass.
Again, it was down the back straightaway. And already a lot of drivers having smoking trucks now that have already had to use their fast repairs. Man, oh man, this is getting very difficult for some of these drivers now. Rapido is now the race leader from all of this again, as Dobbs, among some of the drivers who have already been involved in some of the incidents tonight. Unfortunate for him, was one of the drivers who were in the top 10 in the early going.
Right, and we just kind of seen a rash of these. I think it was Darrell Waltrip always said cautions breed cautions. Well, that's exactly what we're seeing in this race. Had a lot of green flag running the first half, and now these guys can't seem to keep them straight. Makes it interesting for us to watch. I'm sure it's real frustrating for some of the guys on the track. You know, just hoping they can keep it clean and give us a nice finish to so far what's been a good race.
Still following along with Rapido as with Dobbs rather, as he goes around the bottom part of the racetrack. He's still trying to get himself towards the pit lane. But Nathan Rapido is the leader. The 77 of Hozier is in second. Warren Keefe is in third. Trewick, Lopez, Fody, Battle, Powell round out the top 8. Alan Wilson the third, and Tyler Dixon also staying out with Sean Stevens. Every other truck electing to come down the pit lane, it appears, to come down and get service. Either use, if they have one, a fast repair, or get repairs done, because there are a lot of drivers with bent up sheet metal. Presley Sora amongst those drivers who led a majority of this early part of the race. Pruska, he saved his for this moment.
Right, Justin, and you just want to be there. You want to be up front. This madness is going to happen. It's going to happen again. You just hope you're not there. Everybody, you know, now guys are fighting for a little bit of cash. Less than 5 laps to go. You think we've seen it already? No, I still think we're in for a little bit more excitement.
Absolutely. As Brown gets waved around the pace car, he's in 25th position. That will move him to 1 lap down. Gear, Johnson, Fuller, Dobbs, and Edmondson are also currently cycled on that lap distance. But this is shaping up for a situation where It'll be about 4 to 3 laps to go when we get back to the green flag. At this point, what do you do if you're these drivers? Because, again, we've seen what's happened now with drivers pushing up into the walls now. At this point, how do you show that restraint while also making sure you have a chance to win the race?
There is no restraint at this point, Justin. You're just going. What happens, happens. If you see a little bit of a hole, you're going to take it. If you push someone around, you feel bad at first, but it's just racing. It's 5 laps to go left at Daytona. You do what you got to do. Just monitoring a little bit of the communication amongst some of the racers and a little bit of unhappiness amongst some of them, and not necessarily happy with getting taken out with less than 10 to go. It's one of those things where tempers are going to flare. Someone's going to be real excited, and we get to watch it.
Right now, 14 total trucks are on the circuit on the lead lap, by the way. Check that, 18 total on the lead lap, but some of them are in the pit lane or just getting past the pit lane. At the moment, it is Rabideau in first still. But he was one of the drivers you kept an eye on. He's got a clean truck. He's got a good shot.
I don't want to say anything yet. He's still got, in race terms, an eternity to go to bring this checkered flag. Looking good though. Really no worse spot to be than first. He is going to get run up on though. That's going to be how. That's going to be what determines where he finishes, how he handles that run. Because whether or not he takes the outside, it's going to come from the inside, and if he takes the inside, it's going to be on the outside. So a little bit of co-opetition, as DW would say, and the gloves are off. It's all about me at this point. I want to win this race.
Remember to remind you once again, this race in support of charity tonight from the Sim Racers Mental Health, supporting Shine MSD, a charitable organization formed after the Marjorie Stoneman Douglas High School shooting on February 14, 2018, and exists to help survivors, family, and community heal through the arts. Their mission is to harness the power of artistic expression to inspire hope and unity in the aftermath of tragedy. To donate once again, go to shinemsd.network/projects/85254-healing-through-the-arts. You can also find that to the right side of your screen or in the description for this broadcast. 1 lap to go on the caution flag period. 3 laps to go when they get the green flag. This is going to get hectic.
Absolutely, Justin. You want to find yourself where you want to be by the first time around. Be in position to make your play the next time around, and hopefully coming around that last time, you're ahead of everybody. You're looking back. The finish, as we know, is gonna be close. It's gonna be exciting. Let's just see who wins.
Indeed. Again, Rabideau in control of the bottom side. Hozier on the top side. Keep an eye on drivers such as Fody working with Battle on the top line. Dixon in 9th position. Kruzka might make some moves as he stayed in the back much of this race. Drivers like Garrett Powell, amongst some of the drivers we were expecting to punch their way through the field for this final stint, also with clean trucks. He's currently scored in the 8th position. Now it's going to be the matter of getting to the white flag, because if you get to the white flag, the race is official.
Well, that's it, Justin, and hopefully we can get to the green flag. Last yellow, we had a couple guys fail to complete that task. Hopefully they keep it tight and good restart. Everybody stays together. Let's check this out.
Rabideau in control of the field, bunching them up for the green flag. Off and away. We're once again racing from Daytona. 3 laps to go in the Shine MSD 250. And a good jump for that bottom line.
Yeah, we see Patrick Hozier trying to side draft his way, get that top line going. Rabideau holding down to the bottom of the line. He's got Keith right behind him, pushing him, trying to make sure he gets there, but doesn't push him around. Coming down the backstretch.
Top line struggling to form. 3 wide in the middle of the pack.
Someone gets taken low.
Will they save it?
He
No.
tried to come back. No.
Caution again.
Caution in the back. Unfortunately, he tried to He tried to come back into the pack, and he just had too much right turn. Ooh.
Contact between, looked like Battle and Dixon. Pushed both of them underneath the yellow line. And brings us to the first of 3 green-white checkered attempts for the Shine MSD 250. And bad luck again between those drivers.
Yeah, Justin, I was watching that. I didn't know if he was going to be able to hold on to it when he was trying to rejoin traffic, and unfortunately, he caught a big chunk of somebody and started that completely around, bringing out our first green-white checkered, as you stated.
That's the risk when you go 3 wide. There's the chance that if you go too low in that middle, you can make contact in what comes down. In some cases, and when it comes to stock car racing, can go off the track.
Right, Justin, and it's just unfortunate because we've watched Jalen Battle have a really good, strong run up to this point. Gets pushed down a little bit and, you know, unfortunately gets in the way of a few other guys, and I feel bad for him. We watched him race. He was one of the guys that I was watching, but I don't know if he's going to be up front tonight.
See them off in the grass, and you can see just from that view alone how much wheel was trying to be put in inside the cockpit to try and make sure that didn't happen, because you never want to be that driver who ends up losing control and ends up coming back across the field and collecting more drivers with you.
Right, it's bad enough that you really put a damper on your race, but you always feel worse when other people are involved. Nothing's worse than when you're, halfway through that spin and you're looking at the wall, and then your car goes another 360 and a half down the grass because somebody else just got taken out. And so it always feels bad. So I always feel bad for everybody involved.
Nicholas Rees now waved around the pace car, should note. There are 17 drivers currently scored on the lead lap. Rabideau first, Keith in second, Lopez in third, Trawick in the 4th position. Rounding out the top 5, Tyler Fody at this point. But here's how it works for those tuning in for the first time to an iRacing broadcast on the Global SimRacing Channel. With a green-white checkered situation, you must get to the white flag for the race to be official. If there's a caution flag before they get to the white flag, they'll go to an next attempt. If they go through all 3 attempts, then the race will end under yellow. One thing to note, if there is a delayed yellow, potentially during the 3rd green-white checkered, there is the chance for either a 1-lap shootout situation or to the race to end under green if there are 2 delayed yellows. So keep those in mind for tonight's race. And now it's going to get crazy if you're Rabideau, Keith, and amongst the other drivers up at the front, because now everybody's going to be hungry to get up towards the front at this point with how hectic it's been.
That's right, Justin. You got one lap until it's official to make your move and be in position to try to take it home to the checkers. Just a quick note, Jalen Battle actually stayed on the lead lap after that incident. If I'm not mistaken, I think he still had his fast repair this late in the race after this many wrecks. So he's still got a shot. He's back there in the starting order, but he's up there.
Yeah, Battle did indeed take the fast repair. The thing is, though, currently scoring in 14th. However, he is driving around a couple trucks on the outside line, trying to get to the proper positioning as many of the other machines figure themselves out. About 2 to go until the restart here. At this point, what else should we keep in mind for those watching at home for this type of situation?
Well, I think the more eyes you have, the better, because you're always watching everybody. You're seeing the traffic be all tight. And you're seeing if they can bring it around. The big thing is the first lap, and that's sometimes the toughest. Everybody's at a little bit of a different speed from the restart, so that's the important part is getting through that first lap and seeing if you can actually finish this thing under green.
And that's the important thing for many of these competitors. Get to the white, try and keep the race to that point, battle for the win, while also making sure you do it in the cleanest manner possible, while also making sure you don't leave anything on the table. The question's going to be, who will take home that checkered? The driver's coming again towards the one-to-go signal, expected this time by, at the moment, 18 trucks are on the lead lap, the last of which is the 99 of Brock Drury, who's getting damage repaired. Should note 17 total are currently cycling around the circuit, coming towards that 1-to-go signal at this point. Should be interesting here at Daytona at this point. See who can come out on top once again for the Shine MSD 250 here on the Global SimRacing Channel.
Right, Justin. At this point, you've almost invested about 2 hours in your rig if you took the full practice. Now it's time to make it all count for something. Cool 20 at the end of the race would be nice. Podium finish, also nice. Is definitely want to make sure that your time tonight is rewarded and just keep it clean and get past that guy in front of you without spinning him around and make sure that this time counted.
Indeed, and remember, this is all for a charitable cause to try and battle for the race win, but as well, as mentioned a few times tonight, bring awareness to the Shine MSD and their charitable works. Should note, though, here's the interesting thing here, Rocco. Nathan is elected to take the top line. Nathan Rapido's up on the top.
I have to say, with a green-white checker situation, I am surprised at that. From what we've seen tonight, it seems that the top line is taking a couple laps to get up to speed. So maybe that's what he's counting on. Maybe he's counting on that top line having that peak of speed around the end of the second lap. So he'll need this thing to go green for both laps to get that strategy done.
Drivers making their way into turn number 3 now. So we'll see how Rapido can go. He does have someone that's been willing to work with him a little bit in Warren Keith on the bottom side. Also has the chance to work with Treywick, who does have a bit of damage, and Lopez is on the bottom side as well. He does have damage as well in his Chevrolet Silverado. Getting ready for the first of 3 GWC attempts in the Shine MSD 250. Keep an eye at the front of the field. Rapido is the control truck. Green flag is out. We're back racing at Daytona. A great jump for Rapido. He quickly gets to the bottom.
Yeah, he got away from them really nice. A good start for him. He makes sure he gets to that inside line as fast as possible, trying to come around for the white flag.
Rapido still hugging the bottom line. Keep trying to push him forward. The top line, though, working like a sandbag. Treywick's damage on the right front, really slowing things down, while Keith shoves the heck out of the back end of the 93.
A lot of shoving going on that outside line. They are pushing for all their worth, but I don't think they're going to have enough because I think a second outside line in front of them is going to form up. Definitely jostling for position now. Still almost coming to the start-finish line, Justin.
They get the white flag. The race is official. And they will indeed get it. 1 to go for the Shine MSD 250. Who will take it home from Daytona? Rapido on the bottom side.
The 40's around. 77. Race is over.
No, it's not, because they took the white flag. These drivers spin out the back, but 4 make it 3 are in the lead group. 1 truck and Lopez got shuffled to the wall. Keith trying to drive on the outside. He's trying to make the pass. Has a bit of help from Treywick. Rapido tries to hug the bottom sides. They go into 3.
The race is over. What is wrong with me? Rapido on the inside trying to hold on for all he's worth, Justin. Oh, we got contact behind him. The 16 around. Rapido is going to cruise for his victory tonight in this charity event.
Nathan Rapido wins the Shine MSD 250. And one of the crazier finishes you will see on the GSRC. My goodness, what a way to win it. Rapido, one of the favorites as mentioned tonight. But it all started really in the mid-pack. See if we can get some looks of this, because if you go to the 77, he got hooked by a driver trying to make it 3 wide going into turn 1, the 87 of power.
Right, I'm trying to look back at some of the things that we have and some of the angles. I can't see exactly what happened, but I did see that the 77 was involved. He looked like he was the one that was the initial spinner.
You're going to see one driver flare out to the middle, right about here, the 87. The problem is, there's no room for a middle line, and that collects the back half of the lead pack. Those 4 trucks you see there, Lopez and Co., moved away to turn 2. but Lopez ended up getting shuffled into the wall. That in turn led to more craziness. You can see though, this collected 5 to 7 trucks minimum.
Oh yeah, Justin, as we watched the excitement pick up in the last lap, cruising around at a solid caution pace for a long time. That was some way to finish it.
Remember, this is just the first of the incidents, mind you. Lopez got bumped up to the wall in turn 2. Then it got crazy for turn 3 and 4. If we can shuffle towards that way if we can to see what happened in that mix. With that lead pack, you see there, Lopez up in the wall. He got pushed up the track. Then you'll see it becomes a 3-car, 3-truck battle. That 5 machine of Warren Keith trying to hustle as hard as he can on that outside line, but ends up getting collected on the exit of turn 4 by the Moo truck. Actually, he collects the Moo truck himself, pardon me.
I can't believe we got this far into the broadcast, Justin, without you calling it the Moo truck.
And you can see right there, Treywood ends up getting hooked in the right rear by Keith, and that spins them around. The Moo truck flips over, and huge amounts of contact. Some of these trucks didn't even finish. Keith didn't even get to the...
Some aerial acrobatics, always nice to end the race.
Yes, some of those drivers with some huge hits. Silva did make it to the line, should note, even with that contact. I don't think he had any idea what was about to come. Wow.
Always fun when the engine takes a little bit of liberty with the physics.
And in the end, Nathan Rabideau able to celebrate on the front stretch, winning by 2.127 seconds officially. Started in 17th and comes home with the victory in the Shine MSD 250. We'll take a quick commercial break. Post-race coverage coming up after these messages. You're watching the Global SimRacing Channel for the virtual Daytona International Speedway. Welcome back to the Shine MSD 250, which took a wild turn to finish things off. And again, in support of Shine MSD and organized by the Sim Racers for Mental Health, where Nathan Rabideau was the last man standing after a majority of the field crashed on the final lap. He won by more than 2 seconds over Jalen Battle. Alan Wilson III rounded out the top 3. Those 3 drivers are standing by for post-race coverage here on the Global SimRacing Channel. Scott Ricard's in 4th, Steve Rana in 5th, Patrick Hoser in 6th, with Garrett Powell in 7th. Presley Sora in 8th position despite fluffing up in the air. Going to go backwards across the stripe. Blake Traywick goes in 9th, while Brandon Johnson quietly has that all shaped out 30 seconds behind. Rounded out the top 10.
Yeah, Justin, I'm catching my breaths as well. 11th place, we had William Kruska. Reese Barrett in 12th, Tyler Fody in 13th spot. I apologize, I don't know who was and who was not involved with our final theatrics. So I am just going to run through the list. 14th place, Rich Mitchell alongside 15th, Warren Keith. Manuel Lopez along a lap down. Sean Stevens, Brock Drury, Loki Brown in 19th place. And then Jamie Dobbs, who we saw with some events of his own, rounding out the top 20.
Joshua Gear quietly in 21st position. Wesley Ford 22nd. Nicholas Rees 3 laps down in 23rd. Tyler Dixon with some bad luck in 24th was the pole sitter, while Nicholas Panico finished in 25th. Tony Edmondson 26th. Lawrence Sean Nessie in 27th. 12 laps down. Sabara in 28th. O'Neill 29th. Carr rounds out the top 30. Thomas Freitas in 31st. Coles, Hart, Pence, and Prince round out the entrants. Justin Prince alongside Rocco Solone and Sean Ambrose for post-race coverage here on the Global SimRacing Channel. And the driver who survived one of the crazier races we've seen in a little while here at Daytona, Nathan Rabideau. Nathan, how does it feel to win the Shine MSD 250?
Man, I tell you, there's a bunch of craziness going on at Daytona. Oh my goodness. Everyone at that final lap, man, they were just wrecking behind me. I really wanted to get some help there at the end, and just, man, I really want everyone else to be up there with me, but like, man, I'm so excited. This is awesome.
Yeah, I was going to ask what was going through your mind, because there was a lot that happened in those final 20 laps. What was going through your head as the cautions started to break cautions, which bred into eventually, well, trucks flipping over in the middle of the grass coming to the line?
Well, I wanted to see if I could team up with number 5. He was doing a really good job drafting behind me the entire, like, that half of the race there. I chose on that outside line so I can get a good jump so I could be right in front of him. That's how it got me that good push there. Everything else was just like crazy. Man.
Now, another thing I want to ask you is, of course, this is a charity event in support of Shine MSD, organized by the Sim Racers for Mental Health. How important was it, in your opinion, to compete in events such as this to raise awareness and raise funds for charities such as Shine MSD?
Yeah, it's really important to put awareness into mental health. You know, get the help you need, man. For me personally, being on the spectrum, it really helps to, like, you know, there be their support, the support there is for those with mental health, so they can get the help they need.
Now, the grand prize was $20 tonight. If you don't want me asking, what is your plans with that $20 grand prize?
I don't know yet. I'll have to think that through for coming up after this, but like, I think it would be good to put awareness in like the mental health. I think that'd be pretty.
Is there anyone you want to thank for taking home this victory tonight in one of the craziest races in the history of the Global SimRacing Channel?
I gotta thank all those who have like supported me in iRacing through these past few years, man. Nexus eSports, good luck in Road to Pro. Travis, your Tomfoolery series, I'm gonna see if I can win that one. And music, you know, I listen to a lot of lo-fi at midnight. I've come to look for America too, you know, that inspires me to like keep going, man. This is what I want. This is awesome, man. Thank you very much.
Congratulations, Nathan, on the victory. Stellar race. That was Nathan Rabideau coming home with the victory. Standing by with Rocco Stallone is your second place finisher, Jalen Battle. Rocco?
Jalen, we saw you getting a little bit of trouble toward the end. Did you still have your quick repair that late in the race? Did you manage to get through all that carnage early on with not a scratch?
Yeah, that was a plan there to save it until we really needed it. We had a car flip over in front of us there and got through that one somehow with just like 6 seconds of optional. So got lucky through that one, and then just being aggressive on one of those final restarts there, put some more damage in my car. I was gonna take blame for that one, but had a good truck all day. Me, Blake, and Steve were working together on the Highland there all race. Shout out to them. But somehow we got the second after having to pit on a final restart.
So when did you guys decide that you were going to go? You said you were working with a couple of the other trucks in the race. Did you have a plan on when you were just going to turn up the wick and go all the way to the front, either checkers or wreckers?
Pretty much, right? After the halfway caution, after they had a crash on around halfway, there was no more strategy. So let's just kind of be aggressive from there on out, try to control the lanes, just take control of the race, and it got a little wild there at the end, but it seemed to work out for us.
Well, Jalen, it's great. It's also, worth you noting. Obviously, we're running tonight for a good cause. Anything to say about what we're doing tonight with the awareness?
I just want to say a big shout out to William, man. He's been running the Sim Racers Mental Health League, and playing on charity events like this is it's great to spread awareness throughout the community and throughout the entire racing community. And just great shout out to him. He just does a lot for everybody and does a lot for charity.
Great words, man. Anybody you want to thank before we let you go?
Yeah, shout out to you guys for putting on a great broadcast. I'll go back and watch it after this. William for hosting everything for the event and everything for charity. Shout out to the Splash and Go guys, and then my teammates Blake and Steve for helping me out there. And that's about it for that one. Had a good fast track.
All right, well, we'll let you go. Great race tonight. Good finish. Good job, man.
All right, thank you.
That was Jalen Bell coming home second tonight. Third place is standing by with me, Alan Wilson the third. You started the last lap in 12. Alan, describe your last lap for us in your opinion.
Well, it was exciting like these events typically are. I took that last lap and there was a huge wreck in front of me. I managed to go way down on the inside and get down to turn one clean. I think I even had to downshift. That's how much I had to slow down. And I was probably running sixth after that. And we come out of four, and there was another wreck. There was a slow car on the inside, and a couple of trucks, including one of my teammates, got collected in that and ended up crossing the line third.
It was an interesting race for your whole organization as a whole, too. I want to ask about this. Indy Autosport had various different strategies seen tonight. Some of you guys were up the front, some were in the back. What was your strategy for tonight to try and come away with this race in the end?
Yeah, my plan was to qualify high and run up at the front, and I don't think I ever got quicker than or higher than seventh or eighth or so. It was really tough driving up there, and it wasn't a lot of room to make a lot of moves. So I think third was probably the highest I got, and I didn't get it until probably the last 100 feet of the race or so.
Now, what drew your organization to an event such as this tonight? Because, of course, this is a charity event for Shine MSD, organized by the Sim Racers Mental Health. What drew your attention for you and your organization to such a cause?
Yeah, it really is a good cause and a good organization. And I've not been on iRacing for terribly long, and I saw one of these events and signed up and got connected with Will and this team, and they put on really good events, and it's for a really good cause. And so it's fun to participate in these.
In the end, though, what is the main takeaway you want for the fans watching tonight to say when they look back and see this event? What do you think is the main takeaway, especially when you're trying to raise awareness for an event such as this tonight?
Yeah, hopefully they see some good racing, but also realize there is a cause out there, and Sim Racers for Mental Health has a good cause, and hopefully people even pony up some dough and donate to the organizations, including the Shine MSD that this event was supporting.
Anyone you want to thank before we let you go?
Just thank my team, Lawrence and Presley and all the guys, Jamie and Rocky and Adam. They really we operated as well as a team, I think, and Will as well for putting on the events. And you guys do a really nice job of broadcasting these. It's just a really fun thing to participate in all around.
Congratulations to the third place finish, Alan. Heck of a race.
Thank you.
That was Alan Wilson, the third, coming home in third. I'd like to thank him, Jalen Battle, and Nathan Rabideau for joining us for post-race coverage here on the Global SimRacing Channel. But Rocco, want to get your final thoughts on this event. What are your final opinions after one of the crazier final laps in a while? Let's just put it that way. But again, all for one main purpose, to raise awareness for Shine MSD. Apologies there, appears we might have a technical issue. Apologies there, but
I apologize on that, Justin. I apologize. That was my fault. But yeah, we had a great race. It was a way to put it on, for charity. Definitely memorable, as you said. So happy for these guys. I'm glad the event went well, and I'm glad we were here for it.
absolutely. And once again, you can find the link to donate to Shine MSD here to the right side of your screen or in the description for the broadcast you will see below. Of the donation amount, $20 can provide a workshop for one participant, $70 one camp day per participant, $280 for a week, $1,650 for 6 weeks of camp. Again, that is all to raise awareness and funds for Shine MSD, who fundraises to help trauma victims heal through creative arts therapy. Again, great cause to bring awareness to tonight, and a great race overall. And we'd like to thank you for tuning in for tonight's coverage from the World Center of Racing. We'd also like to thank the Sim Racers for Mental Health for organizing this exciting event, as well as thank the companies providing our software and hardware for our broadcast listed up on your screen now. Additional thanks go to Jude Lalonde as well, who provides our wonderful music. See the screen for how to get a hold of more of her great work. Thanks to the team today and Rocco and Sean. If you'd like to find out more about GSRC, including upcoming races, you can find it at globalsimracingchannel.com. If you'd like to help support the channel, you can check it out as well as merchandise for sale at GSRC.StoreNDY.com. Or you can check out our social media on Twitter at GSR Channel, Facebook at Global SimRacing Channel, and Instagram at GSRC_Graham. Don't forget to head over to our YouTube page and hit that big red subscribe button, as well as the notification bell, so you don't miss a moment here on the Global SimRacing Channel. We have many upcoming races for other series coming up on your screen. Be sure to check those out and mark them down your calendar. But until next time, race clean, race hard, and we'll see you on the track.